doing. When a quadratic equation, x squared minus tan of theta plus 1 divided by tan of theta times x plus 2 equals 0, it has a root of 2 plus square root of 3. We're going to find the value of sine to the fourth power of theta plus cosine to the fourth power of theta. All right. So basically, we're just going to use the relationship between roots and coefficients. And notice that if it has a root that's 2 plus square root of 3, then it also has the root 2 minus square root of 3. So we'll call this one alpha and this one beta. And yet let's find the product. Now the product of the roots alpha plus beta equals negative b divided by a. So your b is going to be this. B is tan of theta plus 1 divided by tan of theta. Your a just equals 1. That's the coefficient in front of the 1. This is the coefficient in front of the x. So let's look at that. We're going to do alpha plus beta. So that's going to be 2 minus square root of 3 times 2 plus square root of 3. And that should be plus, plus 2 plus square root of 3. And this is going to equal tan of theta plus 1 divided by tan of theta. All right, so when you add these up, what happens is that these square root of 3's go away. So we're going to get 4 equals, and I'm going to split this up a little bit. This is going to be sine of theta divided by cosine of theta plus, now this one is really just like cotan of theta, right? You just flip this over. So this is just going to be cosine of theta divided by sine of theta. All right, from there, let's get our common denominator. So we're going to have, for this piece here, our common denominator is going to be cosine of theta times sine of theta. And then we're going to have to multiply these two. So that's sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta. Now, using your Pythagorean identities, sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta is 1. So this is going to be 1 divided by cosine of theta times sine of theta, and this equals 4. Or you could say, if we flip these around, let's put this over 1. You can say cosine of theta, I'll just put sine first. Sine of theta, cosine of theta equals 1/4. All right, now that we have that, let's look at this piece here. All right, so for this piece, we have sine to the power of 4 of theta plus cosine to the power of 4 theta. Now, basically, we're just using this formula here, the squares. Let's see. So this one's just going to be equal sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta squared. All right, when you get that, you're going to have, you're going to get this plus 2 sine squared of theta cosine squared of theta. All right, so when you do that, that's what you get. And so we're going to have to subtract it back out. So we're going to subtract 2 sine squared of theta times cosine squared of theta. All right, to simplify that. All right, now this equals 1. Sine squared theta plus cosine squared of theta. So that's going to be 1 squared, it's just 1, minus 2 sine squared theta cosine squared theta. So remember, sine of theta cosine of theta was 1 divided by 4. So basically, if you square both sides, that's just square and square that. That's going to give you 1 divided by 16. Okay, and this is going to be 1 minus 1/8, which equals 7 divided by 8. And that is your final answer. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.